Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
Worried about the possibility of prices rising at the pump? You are not alone. So when can we expect to see a price jump right here?
The governor touting new success in the fight against the pandemic. Coming up, what she's saying to those still hesitant to get their vaccines and advice for parents about getting their children vaccinated.
Okay, Grant, but we begin with major news on the vaccine front. The CDC's advisory panel has given the green light to use the Pfizer vaccine in children as young as 12. The panel voted unanimously to recommend expanding emergency use to that age group, saying the benefits clearly outweigh the risks.
Now, that was expected, but the meeting did take a surprising turn when the CDC updated its guidance on giving the vaccine along with other routine vaccinations.
The CDC Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices reviewed the safety and efficacy data for Pfizer's trial in children between the ages of 12 and 15. There were 2,260 children in the study. Half received the vaccine, half a placebo. There were 16 cases of COVID-19 in the placebo group. There were none in the vaccine group. The most common side effect was arm pain where the shot was given. Other side effects included fatigue, headache, chills, muscle pain, as well as some fever and joint pain. As in adults, side effects were more common after the second dose, but most were mild to moderate. 7 children developed temporarily swollen lymph nodes thought to be caused by the vaccine. There were no deaths, no severe adverse events found to be related to the vaccine. There were 4 children who reported depression, anxiety, or suicidal thoughts. Researchers found those children had a history of those conditions, though, prior to being vaccinated, and did not believe them to be related to the vaccine. There were no cases of Bell's palsy nor blood clots in the 12 to 15-year-old age group, and no reports of anaphylaxis. CDC has previously recommended 2 weeks separation between a COVID vaccine and any other vaccines. The CDC surprised some committee members by updating that guidance to say COVID vaccines and other routine vaccines can be given at the same time or within that 2-week period. Some committee members questioned that guidance because it hasn't been specifically studied yet.
Now, the American Academy of Pediatrics released a statement in support of the safety of allowing other childhood vaccines to be given along with the COVID vaccine, noting that many children have fallen behind on those other important vaccines due to the pandemic. CDC says that guidance now applies to adults as well. Now, Governor Whitmer spoke today ahead of that CDC vote authorizing the Pfizer vaccine for older kids.
Yeah, she touted the new success in beating back the virus and gave a look at the next steps forward, lifting some of those pandemic restrictions. Our Grant Herms joins us live tonight. So, Grant, she had plenty to talk about today.
It was certainly a brawl. Ganners back into the offices to work. She also spoke directly to those who are still hesitant about getting their vaccines as we push towards herd immunity.
Governor Whitmer praising the state's turn for the better and giving a preview of the pandemic road ahead. The governor officially announcing May 24th will be the day offices will be able to reopen under the guidance of MIOSHA, which has also filed to move emergency pandemic orders to be more permanent standing orders. Whitmer also touting MDHHS's updated mask guidelines for those fully vaccinated. No more masks outside unless at an event with more than 100 people. Indoors, masks are still needed in stores and businesses.
Masks are still an important tool to keep yourself and your family and the most vulnerable among us, especially indoors. It's how we keep people safe.
Whitmer and Dr. Janae Caldoun also urging parents to get their eligible children vaccinated after talking with family doctors.
This will mean less missed school because of quarantine, fewer missed sports practices and games, a return to birthday parties, sleepovers, and most importantly, our kids will have a much lower risk of getting ill from this terrible virus. Kids are not immune to COVID-19.
But with the number of vaccines given each day appearing to slow, both the governor and Dr. Caldoun urging for more people to come forward, this time enlisting primary care doctors, calling on those
best chance of putting this pandemic behind us and returning to normal. They represent hope and healing. And if you want to learn more, I encourage you to talk to your family doctor and learn more about how the safe, effective vaccines can save your life and the lives of those you love.
Now, the governor only took 3 questions at her press conference this morning. She did not address what happens if we don't hit that 70% vaccination mark. She didn't talk about the Line 5 pipeline controversy, nor the president's upcoming visit to Michigan. We did try to get some of those questions answered from her office today, but Kimberly, we have not heard back yet.
Yeah, Grant, one more thing. And the governor, I know, was asked about the move to make some pandemic orders permanent. What did she have to say about that?
Well, that move was actually filed back in March by the Department of Labor. It would take the emergency pandemic orders and move them into the state's other category, which is permanent orders. They can be rescinded at any time. The governor said that MIOSHA and the Department of Labor are working on those. They said they want to get those right so folks can get back to work.
Yeah. Okay, Grant, thank you.
Let's look at today's coronavirus numbers. They are back above the 2,000 mark. Today, 2,171 new cases over the past 24 hours, and the state reporting 17 more deaths due to COVID over this same time period.
Now to the vaccine. 10.2 million doses have been delivered here to Michigan, with 7.5 million doses administered. That's up 52,000 from yesterday.
Of course, we point to the next milestone, which is the 60% mark, which lifts the curfew at bars and restaurants and allows for larger capacities at sporting events.
With the CDC endorsing Pfizer's vaccine for 12 to 15-year-olds, the city of Detroit reveals its plans to get them vaccinated.
Starting tomorrow, in fact, the vaccine will be available at all drive-up and walk-up locations operated by the city. Parents or guardians do have to accompany the child while they're getting the shot. They will have to show ID. They have to sign a written consent form. With the city's vaccine rate near 33%, Mayor Duggan says they've got to be getting more shots into arms.
You don't realize how much stress you're living under every day, worrying that you're going to get it or you're going to give it to somebody. I haven't met I'm so glad I got it. I don't believe how much better I feel now. I don't have to worry about passing it to my family.
Mayor also says the city's 7-day positivity rate and hospitalizations are both trending down.
Lions first-round draft pick Penei Sewell has tested positive for COVID-19.
Made that announcement today on his Twitter account saying, quote, "Found out this past weekend I tested positive for COVID. Really wish I was heading to my new home today and able to be at minicamp with my new teammates and coaches. Look forward to getting out to the D as soon as I'm cleared." End quote. We wish him all the best. The controversy, meanwhile, continues over Governor Whitmer's out-of-state trip in March when COVID cases were surging across Michigan.
The governor traveled to Florida, unvaccinated, to visit her father, who is battling a chronic illness. State Republicans are asking for more transparency about what they're calling a secret trip.
It's been 62 days since this secret trip, and we still do not know key details. The issue is not that the governor wanted to visit family members. It's that Michiganders were denied that same opportunity through Whitmer's orders that locked us out of nursing homes and hospitals to see loved ones.
Well, tonight at 6, what Governor Whitmer had to say about the trip and specifically how it was paid for.
After another chilly start, looks like we are finally now getting into a stretch of warmer weather.
Yeah, finally is right. Let's get over to Ben here on a Wednesday for a look at what's coming ahead and into tonight. Ben?
Hey, Kim and Devin. Yeah, we've turned the corner, at least in the afternoons. You can see all this orange indicating warmer temperatures compared to the numbers that we were looking at yesterday. We've made it into the 60s. And tonight we're going to stay there at least through the early evening hours, but it's another quick fall. And check this out, 36 in the morning. Actually, that's going to be in some of the outlying areas. We're officially going to be in the low 40s across most of the metro zone. And surprise, surprise, the frost advisories are back for every single county in lower Michigan except one. Wayne County, you're not included early tonight. So coming up, we'll look at that, the warmer temperatures we're expecting for the weekend, and how long these blue skies are going to stick around. Guys?
Okay, Ben. New information tonight as Warren police search for the man who kidnapped his ex-girlfriend from inside a Subway restaurant.
Police say 31-year-old Adrian Lamar Brown cut off a court-ordered tether before the abduction Tuesday. The victim was found safe a short while later. Jason Colthorpe is live tonight. Jason, police say Brown is to be considered armed and dangerous.
Yes, not only that, police are worried he may kidnap someone else now or worse.
Warren police are looking for 31-year-old Adrian Brown. They say he was sentenced for unlawful imprisonment on May 5th, but cut off his GPS tether the next day. Fast forward 5 days when he charged into a Subway on 9 Mile to kidnap his ex-girlfriend.
And he dragged her out. He literally dragged her out by the back of her head.
The woman was released about 8 hours later, unharmed, thanks to a friend who somehow helped.
Thankfully, her friend interceded and had the suspect give her up, so that's very good. So we're just very concerned that somebody else may be abducted, injured. We don't know.
Brown was driving a burgundy SUV with Florida plates and a back window shattered, but maybe not anymore. Police in Detroit discovered a vehicle on fire early this morning that could be the same one. So, where is Adrian Brown? At the moment, police do not know.
He knows where he's going back to, and we all know where he's going back to, and that's probably why he's going to play it out as long as he can.
Which is why it could get more dangerous before it ends. More on that vehicle, by the way. It was so badly burned that police had to wait until it cooled off to start trying to get the VIN to see if it's the same vehicle. We'll let you know when they find that out. Again, Brown is considered armed and dangerous, and anyone who sees him should call 911. Kim?
Okay, Jason, thank you.
Got a lot more to come on this Wednesday afternoon. Here's Paula.
The final leg of construction for the riverfront of Detroit, and it is going to be something.
Okay, Paula, and the battle over the Line 5 pipeline hits a crossroad. Oil is still flowing, even though the governor ordered it to be shut down today. Hank.
Pipeline problems in the southeast affecting gasoline down there, but what can we expect right here in Metro Detroit? And when will prices start ticking up? I'm Hank Winchester. We'll have that story coming up new tonight.